Well, it has finally come for the National Ball Hockey League to come here to my home state of North Carolina. It is the Carolina division. We have four teams. We're going to be seeing three games. But first, we are going to be talking to someone that I have known a long time for almost 10 years. We've worked together and we have gone through ups and downs in the sport of ball hockey. This is from the Raleigh Squall, Kevin Frost. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, this is nothing different for you. We talk to each other, and you're on camera all the time, so I don't think this will be any different for you. But let's start off with you were originally from Massachusetts, where it is a big hockey place. How much is it different down here in North Carolina than it is up there with places like Boston?
I think you'd be surprised how big hockey is in this area. There's a lot of transplants from the northeastern area, and they bring a lot of passion for hockey with them. I think the sport is growing fast down here, and we're seeing generations of hockey players and fans springing up.
And I can say from experience myself that we've had people from Philadelphia. We've traveled to tournaments in Pittsburgh, so we already have the familiarity of how that influence has come into the state. With that being said, how do you think the sports influence has grown on the people here in the state?
I think we're seeing more and more kids get involved with all forms of hockey now, be it roller or ball hockey or ice hockey. I think there's a lot more people with interest to try out hockey recreationally too. And you can just see the sport growing in every aspect, and the excitement growing for hockey in the area.
And in fact, our local NHL team, the Carolina Hurricanes, has done a lot to spread the sport. And unfortunately, as of this recording, a couple days ago, they were eliminated from the playoffs. But for the most part, people still love the team. They've loved the sport. So let's talk about the what was the Raleigh Street Hockey League, now known as the Raleigh Ball Hockey League. You've been with the league for a long time, and you recently stepped down from the board, but still contributing. So now your experience goes back to my earliest knowledge, 2008, and many will, even I had bought into the misconception that you started it, but no, you've grown the league. So how did you evolve the RBHL over your time here?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think I've been with the league for about 15 years now, and it's been growing steadily every year. From where we started to where we are now, we've added another division of skill level to accommodate new players and to make the other divisions more competitive too. So we have a higher division that we call the A. We have a middle B, and then new players and like C division. But yeah, that we've been able to grow it with divisions, and we've been able to grow with more teams. So it's been, like I said, it's been growing steadily every year. It's been great. We're getting more and more interest.
Yeah, and I remember first joining you in 2013. It was with pickup games, and I finally got into the league and started in the C division. Kind of knew how everything worked. I'm with the B division now, so. I mean, I'm not comparing myself to like our big players, but yeah, I can see myself improving, and that's something that comes with experience. Now, with that being said, in your time here, what have you seen of the players as they have grown in the league?
Oh, it's been great. We've been able to see players just starting out grow into really good tournament players. It's been exciting to see people just to grow into more complete players. Maybe players who are more offensive minded, and a lot of us old timers have been able to pass on our hockey knowledge and help these guys grow and become, better two-way players or better all-around players. We've been trying to pass the torch. So.
Yeah, I remember a few players that started off in the C division. So some of them are not in an NBHL team, but I'll take, for example, from our league, Andrew Brunn. I remember him being in the C division. He's been moving up. Barrett Modi, I remember when he was in C division. Now he plays on an A-level team, and he does play in the NBHL, and I'm definitely looking forward to. I've played alongside him, a great player, and there's a whole lot more coming. Now, I have noticed as of recently that the talent in North Carolina has been becoming more diverse, shall we say, with more young players entering, as you've said. There's been players that I've met in 2013 that are still around, you included. So as someone who's been in the game for a long time, how hard is it to keep up with the pace of the new talent that's coming in?
It's very hard. And I'm certainly not getting any faster. I'm getting on the Joe Thornton end of things here on the career, but but I think as you get older, your positioning becomes more important than just running all out, and I think you learn how to be more of an efficient player, right? Like how to, when you figure out a little bit better of when to use those bursts of speed and how to kind of conserve your energy for the entirety of the game. I think positioning is key in that. And I think that's something you learn with time to be able to keep up with these very fast players that are coming around and the very young players that seem to have this endless amount of energy. Also, just a lot of ibuprofen.
Yeah. I've taken shots from players, and on the occasional pickup, I've taken shots from yourself and from Brian Hooks, who has one of the hardest slap shots in the entire area, and they sting. So I can tell you from experience. But one of the biggest rising stars in Carolina has been Nick Cassetta. I have seen him in tournaments. I am just so impressed with his stick handling, his skill, his speed. He is easily one of the ones to watch. So being paired up with Jack Edgecombe as well makes them a dangerous pair. And how do you slow down something like that?
Well, that's no easy task, and I don't know if you can necessarily slow down guys like that. I think you have to defend as a team for elite players like that. So make sure everyone's covering who they're supposed to be, and you certainly can't leave them alone in the dangerous areas. Both those guys can easily score goals, seemingly whenever they need to. So we always need to know where they are at all times. Nick Cassetta is an ultra competitor. He never stops running, and he's tough on us old guys.
And for some context, in the RBHL, we recently had introduced individual awards. One of them called the Bloodwood Bowl, which is given to the player who scored the most points of the season. And if I remember correctly, Edgecombe actually won it twice in a row. So he's definitely a big one to look at. Now, on the flip side, you got the more experienced Justin Viperito and Chris Lons, who currently lead the division in points. And you've played with them before. You know how what kind of offense they bring. So in your experience, what's it like playing with them?
Both those guys are also ultra competitive guys. They hate to lose. It's great to play with dangerous players like them. Again, there are other guys that seem to can just score with ease. Like when when we need a big goal, they're there and they can score it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's great to be on a team like that too, with players like that. I know they're on top of the points stats this season. I'd expect both of them to stay at the top for sure. They can score a lot of points together.
Now with that, there is a friendly rivalry that is going on between Raleigh and Charlotte, who are here as the Queen City Crowns. Now, you've invited them to tournaments before, and in fact, you had recently announced that there was going to be another 3 versus 3 tournament later this year. So these are like your only times you get to see them. And so how much of that tournament experience plays into how you go up against the Crowns?
Well, Charlotte's got a lot of great players. They've won a good amount of times coming up to our tournaments, even at the highest levels. And then we also, from Raleigh, will go down to Charlotte and play in their tournaments too. So there's some familiarity there with some of these players, of course, but kind of overall, the National Ball Hockey League is a whole different level, especially playing our first week. Everyone's battling hard for a chance at that Milet Cup. So, there is some stuff there where we know who to watch out for. We know who the dangerous players are, but everyone's playing on such a higher level than normal that, it's exciting to see, and you just got to take it one shift at a time, but, playing ahead.
And just for the record, Jim Bateman currently leads on goals with 5, and Danny McMahon, and I can say from tournaments, he has just been lights out the first meeting in all 3 of his games, and he's a tough goalie to go up against. And we've in Raleigh have the likes of Jim Trebus, who is yet to be in the nets this season, Mark Kamoshi, John Cowan. How do you, with only 3 games passed, how do you figure out McMahon?
He's a great goalie. I've had the pleasure of playing on a couple tournament teams with him, 1 or 2, I believe, at this point. And he's just a phenomenal goalie. He really is, and he's a force out there. So I think, I think we just got to play our game and do what we do. And if we press hard enough and if we put enough shots on net, hopefully someone will go in.
And I usually like to end things off with, I usually ask people who appear on the show which division they like to watch. But in Carolina, there's a special interest in the Detroit division because there is one player there that used to play in Raleigh, and that's Brian Lindley, who now plays for the Knight Riders. Now, hypothetically, if one of your teams ended up playing the Knight Riders in the Milet Cup, what would that be like when you face up against someone you knew in the area before?
Oh, that would be awesome if that could happen. From what I've watched, they've got a really good team there. All the teams in that tier 3 look really good too. So there's always that friendly, competitive nature that comes out when you play against each other. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Tier 3's got a lot of great talent in it. It's going to be a difficult tier to win when it comes to the Milet Cup. We're excited. We actually have a few other Raleigh alumni players on some NBHL teams too. Josh and Derek Hale are on the Maryland Sparks in tier 2. So we're rooting for those guys in tier 2, and we have some other friends up in the Pittsburgh tiers as well that have played with us. So it's exciting to see. Ball hockey is a great community. Everyone's supportive, and everyone's out there to have fun and be competitive.
Yeah, funny that you mentioned the Hale brothers. I've been wondering if they were going to be in the Carolina division, but they decided to go with the DC division. But I mean, they're from that area, so and that we'll definitely keep an eye on them. And one other name that I did not mention is Ryan Prusia, who used to play in Raleigh. Now he's in Charlotte. He was with the Mighty Viking Devils in the RBHL. But he is with the Crowns now.
Correct.
So as far as locally, surely that familiarity with the other players really helps out. But you also got Lou Harvathan, who used to play in Charlotte, but now he's with the Hooligans, which right now they're on a rough start, but it is early. And so when you see the team from Lagrange, and what do you think that they have that they can fight back in this season with?
I think they have a ton of skill, and I think they got a ton of energy. I think it's everyone seems to be in shape too, and they seem to have a really good skill level evenly. There's not really low end, so I think I think it's just a matter of time before those guys break out. I think getting used to a bigger rink, and maybe the ball. I believe they play 4-on-4 normally, so maybe 5-on-5 is a little bit different a game. I know floating blue line is a little bit different for people too. So I think once you mix all that stuff in, and they get a little settled down, I think they're going to be a really good team. You can tell they're going to be a really good team, and they're well coached, and they're all great guys. So they all have that willingness to learn. They're all there to get better and get better as a team. So when you're looking for teams that may or may not get better, they check every box that tells me that they're going to get significantly better quickly.
And see, this is what I like about Kevin Frost. No matter which team he's on, yeah, he gives great advice on no matter which team you're on, and he plays plenty in the A division, which is a very competitive division in Raleigh. But before we even get to the Minor Cup, you still have to go through all three other opponents, and well, it's going to be friendly now, but just wait until the playoffs. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me on.